So my name's Jenny Nichols. I'm a team coordinator in the contact centre at the Solicitors Regulation Authority. I've worked at the SRA now for 8 years and I've been involved in the project since then. I've got with me Emma. Emma's just going to say hi and introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma Tomlinson. I've been at the SRA now for about 9 years and I'm here to help with all of the Q&A at the end.
Thank you. Okay, the SRA is going online and this year application forms are available through our website. What I'm going to do in the next 20 minutes or so is let you know what's important for you to do, whether you're starting the legal practice course this September 2011. So as mentioned, there's an application process online this year and it's available to students who are graduating this year. By this, I mean anyone who's sitting their finals for a qualifying law degree, a common professional examination, referred to as a CPE, or graduate diploma in law, GDL. If you're completing your studies this year, you can apply online. So by successfully completing one of the courses I've just mentioned, you're also completing the academic stage of training. This is also available to do online. I'll talk about this a little bit more later in the presentation. So if you're graduating this year but you've not had previous contact with us, you can go through the application process online. If you have had previous contact with the SRA, then this process isn't available to you. We'll cover that in a little bit. But reasons for maybe a student contacting us beforehand would be because they've had to disclose maybe a character and suitability issue, or exemption from the CPE or a certificate of academic standing. Now you will know if you've gone through this process, so you would already have an SRA reference number. The first thing you need to do would be to register an account with us, with the SRA. Now by registering an account through our website, you're also creating a web account for both the SRA and the Law Society. Now, I'm not very technical, but I'm aware that there are certain recommendations for browser or operating systems. This information, though, can be found on our website. There's some really useful, frequently asked questions at sra.org.uk/enrol, where you can find out a bit more information about the technical requirements. So, when you register, you need to first of all create a username. This username will stay with you throughout your professional life, or basically your relationship with the SRA. So you might want to think at this point what name you choose to use going forward. A password is also necessary. Now, as a regulatory body, and due to the sensitive information which can be held on an individual's record, the password needs to meet certain conditions relating to letters, numbers and symbols. So it might take you a few attempts to think of a suitable password for you, and obviously one that you can remember. Your name's also required when you register. I'd like to point out at this point that make sure it's the name that you use on any application forms. Obviously it's going to be your own name, but if you're going to change it to your informal name in an application form, it might throw up a name change request. So it might think, for example, if I change my name from Jenny to Jennifer, you might have to send evidence of that name change, whereas really you're not really changing your name, you're just telling us your formal name from your informal name. After you've completed the registration page, you'll be sent an email to activate your account. Now this is an automatic process and it happens straight away. If you haven't got that email, then check your spam, or maybe it might be that you didn't enter your email address properly. So again, when registering, make sure all the information you submit is accurate. Now the email activation will allow you then to use the online facilities. As well as student enrolment, there are 3 other application forms. I'm going to again talk about completion of the academic stage of training in a little bit, but there's also applications for certificate of academic standing and exemption from the CPE. Now, a certificate of academic standing is available to anybody who's hoping to sit a CPE or GDL, but they haven't obtained a degree in this country. And the CPE exemption, you can go through that online application form if you're looking for partial or full exemption. Again, lots of information on their website, and you can find out details about those application forms on the website. So far I've talked about students if they're graduating this year. Now obviously not all students who start in the LPC in September will be graduating this year. Maybe you've taken a gap year, you've been working, but you've graduated in the last 7 years. Now if this applies to you, you need to go on the website through the Contact Us form to enrol as a solicitor with the SRA. Now we will need to set up a record for you on our system, but to do that we need certain information from you. We obviously need your name, your date of birth and home address. Now once we've created a record for you, we will email you the application forms. You will then need to print off the application forms and submit the form to us with a payment. Obviously the address details will be included in the application form. So the payment that you need to submit with the application form is £80. Student enrolment is the only application form where there is a fee online at the moment. The £80 payment covers student enrolment for the rest of this year and then for 4 full years. Now, depending on how you apply for student enrolment depends on what payment method you need to use. So, if you've graduated this year and you've been able to use the online facility, then you need to submit a payment by credit or debit card. It doesn't have to be yours, but obviously you need to get the bill payer's permission before you use their debit card or credit card details. I'd just like to point out at this point as well that if you are going through the online application process, when you get to the payment screen, please continue with the application form. There's been a few instances where students have submitted their details and then stopped the application. That means that the money hasn't come out the account. It means that it hasn't been a complete application form and then it holds up your application. If you've had to contact us through the SRA website and you've sent your details, we've emailed you the application form, you've printed off the application form and you need to post that back to us, you would then need to send a cheque or banker's draft for £80 to ourselves. Again, if you don't have a chequebook, then we would ask you to ask somebody to write a cheque on your behalf for that amount, please. Okay, there's some key dates which are important when you're applying to do the legal practice course this year. Now, from our website, underneath the Students tab, on the right-hand side, there's application deadlines. Now, this will cover a table of information of some really key dates which are important to you. So, because I'm concentrating on students starting the legal practice course this year, I want to reiterate some of the dates which are important for you. The first date, if it applies, are for students with character and suitability issues. Now, I will talk about character and suitability issues on the next slide, but it's really important for me to stress to you now that your deadline date is the 31st of March 2011. Now, that's next week. Now, it's really important that you submit your application form by that deadline date. We don't expect you to send any supporting documents because you can send that after the deadline date, but I can't stress the importance at this stage that your deadline date would be the 31st of March. If you do not have a character and suitability issue to disclose, then we must receive your application form at least 1 month before you start your legal practice course. So, for example, if your course is due to start on the 1st of September, we need to have received your application form by the 1st of August. Again, based on the date that you're starting your legal practice course, you also need to receive confirmation that you've completed the academic stage of training. Now, if you haven't received that confirmation from us at least 2 weeks before you start the legal practice course, you need to contact us. Again, what I'll do in the next couple of slides, I will refer to completion of the academic stage. So if that's confusing you at this stage, hopefully it will be clear at the end of the presentation. Now, character and suitability, I may refer to it as CNS over the next few minutes. Basically, character and suitability, you need to disclose that, and it's important that you do that at this point of your relationship with the Solicitors Regulation Authority. Failure to do so may have serious implications if you wish to go ahead and practice as a solicitor in the future. You're required to disclose any matters which may call into question your character and suitability to be a solicitor. Again, on our website, sra.org.uk/enrol, that you can find a really useful information of things which you would be expected to disclose to ourselves. It's not an exhaustive list, but it's worth checking that information. Now, depending on what you disclose, depends on what evidence is required from you. It might be that we need to see a recent police national computer check or evidence that a CCJ has been paid. In all events, with any character and suitability disclosures, you'd need to ask 3 individuals to act as referees for you. Each referee must be aware of the disclosure that you're advising us of. They then need to confirm to us their name, in what capacity they know you, how long they've known you, and their knowledge of the CNS issue which you're disclosing. They'd also be required to let us know of anything else which they may have concerns about you becoming a solicitor. Now, this information should be submitted in a letter, or it could be submitted with your application online, or alternatively later by post. Referees cannot be family members only in exceptional circumstances, but they need to have known you for at least 12 months. Maybe it's a recent college lecturer or a recent employer. Now, student enrolment is necessary for day 1 of the course when you enrol on your legal practice course this September. But what's also required is the completion of the academic stage of training evidence. We've already been in touch with universities, and as in previous years, the universities advise us of results for qualifying law degrees, CPEs and GDLs. They've done that previously, so they know that they've got the responsibility of sending the SRA that information electronically. However, it is your responsibility that your course provider does send us the information of your results. We're reliant on the information that the course providers confirm, and we can only grant completion of the academic stage once we've received this evidence. Once the results are received from the universities, course providers, they're cross-referenced against the information that you've submitted on your application. So whether now you know, but obviously you don't know at the moment that you've passed your your qualifying law degree or CP or GDL, but I would encourage you to go online or contact us for an application form for completion of the academic stage of training. We need to receive that information and have it on your record, so when the results come in July, we have that information that we can cross-reference with your records. This should happen automatically, but sometimes due to a typo, whether your date of birth is inputted incorrectly on a spreadsheet or the name is different, there's not a complete match, so we might have you down as Robert, but your course provider may submit your details as Bob. Those sort of instances, then it's not an automatic process, so you may not have received your completion of the academic stage confirmation 2 weeks before you start your legal practice course. So that's why it's important to wait at least 2 weeks before you start your legal practice course to contact us, because it might mean that we've got the information, we just need to do it automatically. Okay, I hope that the information I've given you so far has covered a lot of queries that you have had. However, there's some really useful information on our website at sra.org.uk/enrol. And also on our website you'll find some really useful frequently asked questions. If, however, you need to contact us, there is the opportunity to do that via the Contact Us form following the frequently asked questions. We've also got a Twitter, SRA_solicitors, and we tweet on there quite a lot. And You can also find information from us on YouTube.